Welcome back to Mikayo Messenger. It's great to see everyone here. It's great to be sharing with you guys today what is happening in the world. Epic things are happening. The World War III is getting underway, and on so many fronts, it all seems to be happening at once, just as Jesus said it would happen. If you haven't yet, please do a like and subscribe to our channel. We're actually in the final 50 now as we approach 1,000 subscribers here. So be part of the final 50 and subscribe to our channel if you would, and also help to support our channel if you can. It goes a long way so that we can keep bringing you these updates and deep Bible study. Guys, Russia has bombed a U.S. base in Syria. So, you know, it's official. The gloves are being taken off. Russia and U.S. are confronting one another. It's significant for a couple reasons, because it's Russia bombing the U.S., and it's also because it's in Syria, which is further closer down where Israel is. And ultimately, the hooks are being put in the jaw of Russia as described in Ezekiel when it says that the Prince of Rosh, i.e. Russia, along with its cohorts, Meshech, Tubal, and Magog, which basically equate to areas of like Turkey. We've got Persia in there, Iran, Ethiopia, Libya. They're also going to be joining in, as we've talked about in other videos. But basically, they're coming down to surround them. And it says, God says, I will turn you around and put hooks into your jaws and lead you out with all your army, horses, and horsemen, all splendidly clothed, a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So that is what's happening. It's being pulled down to ultimately come after Israel, which will be the final blow for the Prince of Rosh and all his cohorts. At least it'll be the final blow for that particular sortie. Then they're going to go through 7 years of hell on earth called the Great Tribulation or Jacob's Trouble. So Russia's making its way further south here as it's now bombed a U.S. base in Syria. And I guess there's some activity going on in Azerbaijan. Okay, now Azerbaijan, let me zoom in a little bit on this if I can. Azerbaijan is right near Iran, just north of Iran there, so you kind of know what we're talking about. And so there's kind of sounds to be civil war breaking out there in Azerbaijan, and they're just north of Iran, which is Persia, so they're getting involved, and Russia is coming to their aid. So as you can see, deals have been made that Russia is now supporting Iran, supporting Syria, really supporting everybody surrounding Israel, so to speak, and they are ultimately moving in and surrounding Israel, as is what we're waiting for there from Ezekiel. So very intriguing indeed. In any case, fronts are multiplying on the planet as there's been significant deterioration in Iran and Azerbaijan relations. Their embassy in London was attacked, invaded by pro-Iranian Shiites. The reason is the ongoing repression program against Iranian clerics in Azerbaijan. At the same time, there are demonstrations against the Aliyev regime in Lankarav, etc. So there's conflict going on there. Let's look at a couple of these videos and kind of get a feel for this, what's happening. So it seems like they're shouting maybe outside the embassy there. Let me see where this is exactly. It says, let me see what it says maybe underneath the video. Sounds like Shiite sympathizers occupy the embassy of Azerbaijan in London. So yeah, it is. It's the embassy of Azerbaijan, as you can see there. So they are basically taking over the Azerbaijan embassy. So there's Iran and Azerbaijan are going at it, and Russia is coming to the rescue of Iran. And I guess there were some U.S. bases in Syria near Azerbaijan, or that were assisting Azerbaijan, and they have been bombed by Russia. Let's see this as well. So this is in the UK now, but at the embassy of Azerbaijan, I believe. Wow. They're climbing ladders to get up in there. This is crazy. So they're kind of breaking into the embassy, it looks like, up on their balcony, kind of taking over and waving their flags instead, breaking into the Azerbaijan embassy. And then they're writing, they've done graffiti on the windows and on the bricks, kind of similar to what the Germans did to the Jews on their Kristallnacht. They've written there on the walls Islamic jihadic type statements, I would imagine. I can't read that writing, but I imagine it probably fits the bill. And they're waving their flags and protesting against Azerbaijan. And they're even playing trumpets and banging drums. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Turn that up a little bit. Wow. Some loud drums they got there. Man. That is intense. So, wow, he's banging a really loud... What is that thing he's banging? Some kind of a drum he's banging there. It's like an octagonal shaped. So, this is what's going on right now, guys. Total havoc in the whole world. Wow. Oh, this is crazy. Okay. That's very interesting. It says, at the extremes, Iran and Azerbaijan with the blessings of Moscow. With the blessings of Moscow. That's the key word there. The Prince of Rosh. So far, Azerbaijan has given Ukraine MiG-29 fighter jets, 20 N5 82mm mortars, QFAB guided bombs, free gas, and all emergency vehicles in Ukraine. Okay, that's what they've given to Ukraine. So they're supportive of Ukraine. So see, it's dividing lines. So they're supporting Ukraine. Therefore, Russia's against them and siding with Iran. So all these lines are being drawn. Once again, going back to that map of where Azerbaijan is. So they're kind of right next to Armenia there, right north of Iran. And they're kind of in a tough little area there. That's sort of the area where Russia would come down land-wise through Georgia, right next to Georgia. So very intriguing indeed what's happening there. Let's just see a little bit more of this article. Azerbaijan delivered 3 MiG-29s to the Ukrainian Air Force. Iranian tanks are on the border with Azerbaijan. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely, it's more than talk. Iranian tanks are on the border. So now Iran. Oh my goodness. So you got Russia with Ukraine. You got China with Taiwan. Now Iran is about to invade Azerbaijan. Oh, wow. See, guys, this is all going according to plan. See, this is Russia's plan. Russia wants to shore up the whole Middle East. So I don't know what was this showing? A truck that was going by with equipment or something? What was this? Oh, yeah. Okay, tank. Yeah. So Russian helicopters bomb forces training at the U.S. base. So when you start to get an idea of the geography here, just start to take in the geography a little bit, you start to see you've got, the way Russia's looking at it, let's back off a little bit. They've got this whole area, and so they want to kind of shore up the whole Middle East to be united with Russia. Okay, and then they have this whole landmass, and then China to the east. So that's going to leave these other countries like India and stuff. They're going to have to join in, or they're going to be left out, so to speak. But they want to shore up this whole area. So they basically own the east, and they own the Middle East. And so Azerbaijan, now Iran's moving into Azerbaijan, so they basically want to take them out, and Russia's helping them do that. And they're bombing in Syria, which I guess there's some U.S. bases that are supplying Azerbaijan from Syria that's nearby here to the lower left. You see Syria there. So that's basically what's going on. Very intriguing. All right, let's keep going here. Russian helicopters bomb forces training at the U.S. base in Al-Tanf. Okay, so Al-Tanf, I guess, is the one, in eastern Syria. Al-Tanf is in eastern Syria, okay? So they're the ones supplying Azerbaijan for this civil war. The Ministry of Defense, or not civil war, I should say. It's not a civil war. It's for war with Iran. Wow, world war, guys. This is what it looks like. It's when the whole world gets involved. The militants had established hidden fortifications in the desert. So basically, they had hidden fortifications in the desert of the Syrian Arab Republic, from where they carried out raids and sabotage against the civilian population and infrastructure of the Syrian Arab Republic. Now, this is what they're saying. It's kind of a quote. This terrorist group is based on the Al-Tanf zone, supplied with weapons and trained by U.S. Army Special Operators. So that's their perspective, that they're the terrorists. The pilots of the Russian aerospace forces successfully destroyed all the fighters. That's a statement from the Russian Ministry of Defense, Russian Federation reads. Okay, so that's from their perspective, obviously. Remember, the winners write the history. So it may not be what really happened, kind of like January 6th, Who writes the history of what really happened that day, right? It's the same idea. In the video, you can see how Russian helicopters fire missiles at the base of pro-American forces. Ooh, let's see this. Man. Wow. So if you can make that out, you can see the missile moving in and then hitting the target of the base. They have secret bases in Syria. And this is from the perspective of the pilot. You can hear them talking to each other. They're kind of giving commands, and even sounds like it's a computer. A computer saying like the target has been hit. That's kind of what it sounds like. Not sure if that's what they're saying, but it kind of sounds like that. Wow. So that's what's happening, guys. This is all related. It's all connected, and that's why it's a world war, because it's not like it's just Iran versus Azerbaijan. No, this is Russia alliance with Iran. It's the Ezekiel 38 alliance, and they're trying to take out and shore up the Middle East so they can own that whole territory. And Israel is on that list as well. That's why they're using jihad right now today to bring it in Israel. Here's some of the planes that are being used in that battle. Wow. Very interesting. Let me keep going down a little bit more here. At least 3 Azerbaijan MiG-29 fighter jets were donated to Ukraine and were refurbished, etc. Okay. Now, one last thing I want to share with you guys in this video, and then I'll wrap it up. It's time to fight together and knock her out. China ends communications with U.S. and upgrades strategic relationship with Russia. Shipyards on fire. Okay, look there it is again. The Russian flag and the Chinese flag. I'm telling you guys, they're going to develop one flag. I bet. They're going to do a combo flag somehow with these two, like we talked about in the previous video. So go check out that previous video. But there it is, guys. China is beginning to cut communications bridges with Washington, and it announced it is halting cooperation with the United States in several areas, including dialogue between top military commanders. According to Beijing's announcement, the first list includes 8 measures against the U.S. The following have been canceled: conversations between military officials of a certain level, the meetings between officials of the ministries of defense of the two countries. Now, this is between U.S. and China. They're canceling this. The China-U.S. Maritime Security Mechanism, cooperation with Washington to prevent cross-border crime, cooperation against drug trafficking, cooperation in the repatriation of illegal immigrants, bilateral talks on climate change, China-U.S. criminal judicial cooperation. They're basically saying, we're not friends anymore. We're not talking to you anymore. We're done. We are now enemies. And remember the phrase, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So Russia and China are at odds with the U.S., so that means they are officially thrown into each other's arms. You can see Russian and Chinese soldiers here are hugging one another as they are uniting. And guys, if it wasn't enough to be against one of the other superpowers of the world, to be against 2 of them, U.S. is done. That's Mystery of Babylon right there. Going down. China-Russia strategic cooperation will be strengthened, especially because they've turned their back on God. Now, if you were to turn back to God, you could be David and Goliath, and you could take out Hitler, and the Axis, Japan, Italy, and Germany. But when you're in a situation where you've turned your back on God as a nation and as the West, and you've turned to lies and you've turned to demons, look out, because it's going to go down. China-Russia strategic cooperation will be strengthened. Beijing is ready to strengthen the strategic engagement with Russia so that together we can more effectively defend the international system in which the United Nations plays a key role, as well as the order based on the rules of generally accepted international law. For the sake of momentary gain, for the sake of momentary juncture, for the sake of these infamous public relations, domestic and foreign, they are ready to sacrifice everything, including the remnants of their reputation, the official spokeswoman of the Russian Foreign Ministry told the air radio Sputnik. The Russian media, the U.S. has shown its teeth. It's time to take them out. Wow. That's what the Russian media is saying. The last Chinese warning: China is a threat to Taiwan and global democracy as a whole. Stand aside. It is clear that the United States cannot stand aside. So this is it, guys. The gauntlet has been thrown. It's 9th of Av. World War III is being declared essentially here as Russia and China are thrown into each other's arms against the U.S., against the West, and now it is game on officially. We will do it because we can, and there will be no repercussions for it. So sooner or later, they will try to kill everyone who is considered a threat. Now, this is what the message is very simple. We fear no one and will destroy those who threaten the security of the United States. Now, this is the United States, I guess. It is time for Moscow and Beijing to finally understand this will inevitably happen unless, after the next show of teeth, those same teeth thin out, even if they are completely uprooted. Russia and China are forced to become major naval powers. Wow, the great achievements of Admiral Jing's Chinese fleet, the width of the Taiwan Strait. Let me just updated naval doctrine. They've updated their naval doctrine now to incorporate all this. So, guys, very chilling things indeed are happening in the world, but we know Jesus is coming back. It's the 9th of Av, and we're looking for him to come any moment with the great earthquake and get us out of here before things really go down. Amen, guys. Love you. Talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in. And please like, subscribe, share this, hit the notification. Share this stuff, guys. There's a lot of great videos here we're making. Make sure you share them with other people because this is important information that others need to know. Make sure you share it with your family and friends. Hey, sometimes you share your faith. They don't listen. We'll share a video. It's an indirect way you can get them to think about God in these times. Amen. Talk to you soon.